So, good evening. How are you today? What's going on, people? Welcome to another video. I'm John, and tonight I'm going to do another channel for the press conference reaction. So it's a bit late. The reason being is because I was on another channel tonight with Sharky, Tsunami TV, for a couple of hours, and it's been absolutely fantastic. Asking questions, guests on the show, and it's absolutely fantastic. So, like I said, like and subscribe to my channel. Subscribe if you're new, and also good evening to you, mate. Are you okay, mate? And really had a fantastic time with Toon Army TV with Sharky. So I had a fantastic time. So so I thought I'd do another channel before I get myself to bed because I'm absolutely knackered, but I will do my best. I've got a tweet off Paul. Send the link and it'll come on. Just come on. Yep, I will do. Give us 2 seconds, Paul. I mean, Paul wants us to come on. So today it's been very interesting what Steve Booth have to say. And let's be real about it. Because today he's come back fighting. And he says he's going to throw the hand grenade. The gloves are off. And he's insulting the fans yet again. And I just can't have that because, again, this manager is an absolute disgrace. And I just don't rate him at all whatsoever. So I seem to be having problems with the link here in a minute. And yeah, what he's saying is, if I can find a link up, he's been saying a few things today, is what Chris Waff has been saying. And this is what Steve Booth have to say. He was asked about the press conference and whether in the relegation battle. That's the first one he was asked. And he replied, we've got a scrap on our hands. Yes, of course, because he had a bad run. If you're in the bottom half of the table, the first thing you think about is surviving and getting those points. We have to stay as bright as we can. We haven't exactly been bright, haven't we, Steve? Because we've been in the bottom half most of our season, right? And he picked the wrong formation, keeps turning 5 at the back all the time. And it is absolutely frustrating to watch. So I don't know what you're talking about there, my friend. I don't know what you're talking about because, to me, I just think a crap manager, and the senior guy at the club, the better. So I just don't think you're the right man for the job. Never have been, never will be. And he sounds a bit arrogant as a manager. And to me, you're just not good enough for the job. So get out of the club, Steve, because no one don't want to play for you. And he was asked as well by Keith Downing, have I lost the dressing room? I'm the wrong person to ask of that, but I see nothing wrong with them against Arsenal, Liverpool and Leicester. But the hand grenade has been thrown where we expected to win, has happened too many times on my watch. So he's trying to deflect the blame on himself. Yes, you have lost the dressing room, Steve. You lost it a couple of months ago, right? And another thing is, you don't know how to handle these players. They are good players, attacking players, but unfortunately you, my friend, have held them back. And they just don't want to play for you anymore. Isaac Hayden asked you on Tuesday against Sheffield United and asked you, where do you want us to be? Where do you want us to do? What do you want us to do? And he just did not have a clue. He keeps picking 5-4-1, and the players are so fed up with it, I just don't want to know. Why? It's just so fed up, and that's why they're not winning games. And I'm still waiting for Paul to come on my chat. And another message from Russell. What do you think of Cabby Heat? The gloves are off comment, and if he was a Newcastle fan, he would not be happy either. Do you know what it is? He's contradicting himself. He really is contradicting himself. He's not really a Newcastle fan, right? He thinks he is, but he's not really a Newcastle fan. If he was a Newcastle fan, he would not take the job on, okay? And secondly, give us the football that we deserve. We deserve to play good attacking football. You know, he claims to be a fan. He should give us what he wants, not playing this boring 5-4-1 all the time. And you also come out and say, I'm going to do things my way. My way right? That means he thinks he's going to change it up. So I hope against us on Monday, do things your own way, prove to us that you got to play your way. And that's playing a 4-4-2. I spoke to Sharky tonight about tactics as well. We both agree we should play in a 4-4-2. Because if we don't play a 4-4-2 and we keep playing this 5-4-1 formation, we are going to get absolutely slaughtered at, because once the first goal goes in against us, game over. Game over. So I got a message for Anruda. Hello, how are you? Hope you're okay. Russell would not manage the Mackhams if he was a Newcastle fan. That's very true. That's very true, because at the end of the day, you don't do that. Because he did say that it's not his dream to manage Newcastle at any time soon. Got a message, well, not a message, there's another one here from Craig Hope on a DM on his Twitter feed. He was asked the question about how we played on Tuesday against Sheffield United, and his answer was, we're absolutely hopeless in the first half for Sheffield United. Unfortunately, in my 18 months here, we've thrown the hand grenade in too often. In hindsight, I've picked the wrong team. I don't think all of the criticism is fair, but understand it. I'm sorry, but you picked the wrong team, Steve, right? You picked the wrong team. Not only that, you picked the wrong midfield as well. And the criticism, you deserve criticism because you not give us the football that we want. And the players are just peed off about it, yeah? You said the criticism was fair, you understand it. But on another one, it said it's not fair. So what is it? The manager needs to take some of the blame. Okay, the players need to take the blame as well, but the manager is the ultimate one. He picks the team. And I should go on to Chris Roth's tweets in a minute, if I can get it up there. So I will get that in a second. And Russell said he will play 6 at the back on Monday. That's the change of the tactics from that dinosaur. Well, he did say that he's going to do things his way. Does that mean changing the tactics? Does that mean playing a different sort of formation? Different players? Wow. We've got to wait and see. And Aniruda, if I pronounce it, Aniruda, how are you again? Bruce constantly going 5-4-1 is really hurting the players. And also, I don't get when the players react when Bruce changes formation to 4-4-2 or 4-2-3-1. My preferred formation is 4-2-3-1 because you've got the players to do it. Yeah, but Steve Bruce doesn't do change. He does not believe in change. Why? Because he's so scared of making that change. So please like and subscribe to my channel. I've got 207 subscribers at the moment in time, but I'm hoping to get quite a few more. So I'll be doing other contents as well. I'm just gonna get what's his name up there? Chrissy Waff. I did have it up there, but I kind of lost it in a minute. If you just give us 2 seconds, because he sent quite a few tweets today. And if I can get it up there, yeah, there's Chrissy Waff. I'm just going to read out what he said. I might just do a shared screen on this one. It's a bit slow underneath. So, yeah, I think he's been asking quite a few questions there. I'm nearly there. Shut that down. I just I'm going to pause back and pause on me chat. Oh, how are we doing, mate?
Good evening, John. How are you?
Mate, I'm Kenny again. Lovely to chat to you. So, how are things with you, my friend?
Not too bad. Just waiting for the game on Monday now. Dreading it.
Yeah, I'm dreading it as well because we got Arsenal to get on Monday, and Steve Bruce has come out a day and said that he's going to do things his way. He's going to throw the grenade, and the gloves are off. Thus, that means now what he's telling us is he going to change from 5-4-1 to perhaps a 4-4-2 or 4-2-3-1?
There's a question. I think the gloves are off comment, I'm taking it a different way. I'm taking it as in he's had a dig at the fans again. Because if you look at that, he's saying what he's talking about is from when he first took the job, the flack he took from the fans, how nobody wanted him and things like that. And I think that's what he's talking about. The gloves are off now, and he's going to prove the fans wrong. I just think he's had so many digs at the fans. it'll be very, very difficult for any supporter to come back onto his side. As for the five at the back, you know as well as I do, John, that he will be scared of Arsenal. He will be scared of playing four at the back. But I actually think we're a better team going 4-2-3-1, or 4-4-2 for that matter. I think when we press, like we did in the cup against Arsenal, in the second half, we pressed them, we harried them, we rushed them into making passes. And, you know, as much as Arsenal fans hate to admit it, we were the better side in the second half and obviously should have won the game.
I totally agree. I mean, second half, we were absolutely good. We were really good second half. We had the right goal. We can press teams. You've got the players. You've got good players there. We can press teams. But it seems to me that Steve Bruce doesn't really trust his team, to be honest with you. And if he doesn't trust his players, then he's got a problem. Yeah? But I'd like to see something different on Monday and give it a go and play a 4-4-2-1.
Yeah, if he's coming out and saying he doesn't trust the players, that doesn't exactly give the players much hope when they go on the pitch, thinking, oh, we've got to play this sort of 8 defensive players and 2 forward players because he doesn't have any confidence that we can go out there and do a job. He's got to change that mindset and actually have some belief in his players. But to have belief in the players, you've got to play them in the right positions. And until he starts doing that, we are going nowhere.
Well said, well said. And you look at the players, I mean, Bruce does play a lot of players out of position. You play Jeff Hendricks on the right, which is not his central midfielder, and then you play Almiron. If you're going to play Almiron, you have to play a 4-2-3-1 to accommodate him in a 10 role. He can play wide, but for me, he's better off as a 10. That's his position, and he's good at that if he's allowed to play. And if he doesn't play in his right role, then like we've seen in many, many games, he looks a bit lost. He runs around. He's got the energy there, but at times he's not a winger. And I think that is down to the manager because he's picking the wrong formation there. And
the thing is with Miggy, John, he's not built for a winger. He's not. You know, you get certain build of players and certain height and sort of width and muscle, and he's more suited to a number 10 where he can just get the ball and he can roll the centre of defenders, he can play players in and things like that, and actually run at defenders and have a go himself. You see him do it for Paraguay. You know what I mean? He does it for Paraguay on a regular basis, but Bruce doesn't play him in that same position that Paraguay do. And that's where we're losing out on Miggy, because now he's strolling around without smiling on his face, and he's getting yanked off, or, you know, he doesn't start games, he doesn't come on as sub. I mean, I find it baffling he didn't come on against Sheffield United. You know, when we needed some creativity, he leaves him on the bench.
I totally agree. I just don't understand that at all whatsoever. I really don't, especially when you got to go down. And when we go down, he should have changed it up and just bring on Carroll and Ramiro and just give it a like one play 4-4-2 and just go for it, because we're supposed to be chasing the game. We couldn't even change shadows because we still play the same thing, the same way.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, Arsenal are going to play a different team to what we faced in the Cup. You know, I mean, even if they went with the side that played Crystal Palace last night, Palace did well to get a draw, but Palace are playing for the manager. Ours aren't, and that's the difference. When you've got a team who don't play for the manager, you've got a problem straight away. And we haven't got a team of 11 that goes out on that pitch and wants to bleed blood for Steve Bruce. They don't want to. And they're just fed up. Isaac Hayden was a perfect example in the game where he went over to Steve Bruce and said, "What's going on? Where are we supposed to be? What do you want from us?" So the message wasn't clear from the dressing room, and everything is wrong.
You're absolutely right. I mentioned that as well. You heard us say that into Sharky's show, and the fact of the matter is the players look a bit peed off at the minute. Like, you know, they just don't know what to do. And Hayden is a bit frustrated as well. And it seems to me now, I'm going to say it now, right? I mean, he's going to be sacked at the end of January. That's my prediction, right? He'll go on the end of January. And he's just going to go off the Everton game because Ashley just don't make their money. So that's not going to keep it home, hang out to dry, and then after the Everton game, he'll be sacked. I'll sack him after the Arsenal game if we get absolutely slaughtered. And I think we will.
I mean, I can't see us getting anything on Monday. I can't see us getting anything at Villa Park because Villa are just coming back, obviously, off their COVID outbreak. But they're a club with ambition. They've got the players that go with that ambition. You know, they brought Barkley in from Chelsea on loan, and nobody thought he would go there. But look how he's doing now, linking up with Grealish. They're creating opportunities left, right, and centre. And I think Grealish and Barkley will have a field day against us. So I think you're right. I think, you know, he's not going to get the results he needs before the end of January. Therefore, I mean, it's my birthday on the 1st of February, and it would be a wonderful present to get this to get up on the morning and say it's breaking news: Steve Bruce sacked. You know what I mean? But
that'd be perfect.
I just feel deflated, John. You know, like every other fan does, and angry that our club is in the situation that it is.
I do as well. I mean, you touch on Jack Grealish as well. I mean, yeah, we are deflated in a minute. Like, you know, we had 18 months of this, 14 years of Ashley, and we still deflated at this moment in time. But talking about Jack Grealish as well, I mean, for me, I think he's been absolutely magnificent this season for the Villa. Not just for Villa, I think he's been magnificent in the Premier League. I think for me, he's the best English player of the season. Without a shout out, it's got to be my player of the season for us, because he's been playing wonderful football and his skills are there. The one he's got cut out though is his diving.
He has. I was just going to mention that, but at the same time, I mean, if he played for us and he was winning free kicks like that for us, would we be complaining? I don't think we would. He does what he needs to do for his team, and that's what I like about Grealish. He's got that attitude to say, well, you know, I'm going to do this for my team. And I'm not bothered about the flack that I'm going to get. If I can win free kicks or penalties for my team, I'm going to go right ahead and do it. You know, you look at our team at the minute. Have we any players that would actually think that way?
Not at all.
No.
Not at all. You haven't got the ability. You haven't got the talent. You haven't got the ability there. You know, you just haven't got the classic Grealish. And there's another player you got to watch out for as well. For me, people say, the defending championship, but it's Ollie Watkins. I like this guy. Scores. He's quick. He's direct, skillful, he's class. Now, if Newcastle don't look after him, he's got to have a field day. Now, you said about Grealish and Barnes got to have a field day. I think Watkins got to have a field day as well, because he's taking the Premier League by storm. Cracking player.
I think Callum Wilson will be gutted that he didn't go to Villa. The amount of chances that Villa are creating, and he sees the way we're playing now. I mean, he's got to be gutted, really, hasn't he? I mean, getting balls in from the likes of Grealish and Barkley, you know, on a plate to score goals is just what Callum Wilson's all about, you know. But we don't have that. The one person that we do have that can open doors like that for Callum Wilson is Shelvey.
Yeah.
But Shelvey, the problem is with Shelvey, he's in and out of games, and Shelvey is a wonderful, gifted footballer, right? But his attitude isn't quite there. But when he's got runners around him who do the dirty work, Shelvey stands out more because they win the ball back. They give the ball to Shelvey. You look at the West Ham game, John, at the start of the season. You know, those passes to Wilson, it was like telepathy straight away. You know, they had an understanding. Shelvey would get the ball. He'd instantly know where Callum Wilson was running, and he'd play him in all the time. And it looked so good. And I think that's what gave us a lot of optimism going forward.
Yeah.
But obviously since then, it's just gone downhill because Bruce has shut shop. And I don't know why he doesn't want to play like that anymore. We looked much the better team against West Ham. But now you flip the switch over and you see where West Ham are this season and how well they're doing. And you think, well, if we can play that well against West Ham, why does he not set up like that anymore? You know, to give these forward players the chances that they need to get in the positions to score goals. It's just so sad to see, really, our forward players getting so frustrated that, you know, they're giving niggly little fouls away and stuff like that, and they're just disgusted. And one of our players having to go over and ask the manager during the match, what are we doing? You know, it just does everything, mate.
True. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, to me, that he's definitely lost the players there, and he hasn't got a clue. You look at Chris Wilder the other day; he's just cheering them on, clapping them, telling them how to go, you know, non-stop. But this manager, hands in his pockets, doesn't do a lot at all. Do you know what I mean?
No.
You've got to give the players encouragement, and I haven't seen that from him.
No, I think it boils down to the backroom staff as well, John. There's no oomph in the backroom staff. There's nobody who's got the guts to come up to Steve Bruce during the match and say, Steve, this is going terribly wrong. You need to do something about it. You need to change it now. Pull forward the back, do this, do that. Because if you look at the way Wilder was going on with his backroom staff, he trusts them. They were telling him certain things and he was nodding his head saying, yep, that's what we'll do. And that's the kind of system you need, where you've got coaches who will come up to the manager during a match and say, right, I've noticed this isn't right. I've noticed that isn't right. Let's change it now and let's put it right. Steve Bruce said after the Sheffield United game, right, I'll wait till half time to change it. Why wait till half time? Fergie wouldn't do that. Mourinho, Wenger, you look at all the top class managers.
Yeah.
They're not frightened to yank players off or change tactics midway through, no matter how many minutes are gone in a game. Exactly. And that's the difference really between Bruce, who is more like the best mate than he is the boss.
Yeah. And the thing is as well, I can remember a couple of seasons ago in the Rafa, we went 2-0 up against Man United, right, at Old Trafford. And Horsier made 2 subs after about 20 minutes. 2 subs in the first half.
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
20 minutes, he changed that. He knew someone wasn't working. He changed it. In the second half, they turned the game around. I know we looked knackered at the end of the day because you've got everything to that end. I can't talk about that. Disappointed, lost 2 goals. Lost 3 goals to 2. But yeah. That's what Steve Bruce needs to do. He needs to be brave. He needs to have a real goal. And he's not doing it, though. He's not.
No. I mean, John, if he was going to change anything, he'd have done it by now. It's all right from sitting in a press conference saying, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that.
Yeah,
it's proof of the pudding is on the pitch. And, when you've lost the fan base, you've lost the majority of the dressing room, you can't change things around after that. Once players have lost faith in you, and they're struggling to understand what you're trying to do. If the players don't understand, then we've got no chance. They're the guys that have to go out on the pitch and perform these tactics and stick to the rules of Bruce Ball. It's the manager. And the buck stops with him. And yes, we've got problems. We all know about Ashley and Charlie and things like that. But the playing side of it is down to Bruce. He sets the team out. He sets the tactics out. And it's been wrong for 18 months.
I agree. And then he comes out and says, I've got to come out fighting, do my way. You're right. You're totally good. It's too late. The damage is done. It's gone.
He's saying, come out and do it my way. Well, whose way has he been doing it for the last 18 months? He's the manager. Whose way has he been going by?
Because we know he is struggling to keep his job. That's why he's coming out and saying things like that. You can see his face, right? The cracks are appearing, yeah? He's looking stressed. He's stressed. And he knows that he's going to get the sack. That is it. I mean, I've got a comment here. You probably know about Bruce getting sacked. Not a sports direct. We will still retain him until there's 8 or so games left to play and all but relegated. And Mark said it again. Then we'll sack him in a panic and try and fail to appoint Steven Gerrard. Bunch of amateurs. Well, first of all, Steven Gerrard will not come to Newcastle.
Not a chance.
First.
Not a chance. There's no. We've said this on my show as well, John. There's no way in this planet we can attract a big name to work under Mike Ashley. If the takeover goes through, then fair enough. We look beyond the takeover. We see that obviously things will change, but at the minute the takeover is up in the air. So we can't presume that the takeover is going to happen until it happens. So I think any talk of the takeover needs to just stay in the background until they're ready to announce that it's happened. I don't want to hear anything, on social media about planes here, planes there, and agreements made. Until there's something solid, an announcement made, I don't want to hear about it. I concentrate on the here and now. Is the fact that Steven Gerrard would not come to work under Mike Ashley. No big name manager will. The only manager that possibly will is Nigel Pearson because he's got links with the club. As for the 8 or so games, Ashley should have learned his lesson with McLaren when he left it far too late, and he brought Rafa in before, but it was too late for even Rafa to turn it around. We nearly did, but we didn't. And you know, Rafa stayed on, got us promoted again. But the problem is that Ashley needs to know is if we go down this year, we ain't coming straight back. That's a fact. You know, we have not got the talent to come back that we did have when Rafa was in charge. We still have a lot of the players at the club, but they aren't of the same ability anymore. They're older, and some of them are nearly finished and over the hill. So, as far as I'm concerned, it's a massive risk if he waits to beyond January. It's a massive risk.
He's got 300 million on the bounty. I keep saying that he's got 300 million riding on this because if he wants to protect this investment and with that 300 million, he's got to sack him now.
Yep.
With 17 games, something like 17 games to go, maybe it's plenty of time to turn it around with the right manager. But now, I'll tell you what, if we go down this time, I'll tell you something, Paul, we never get back up. Not for many years.
We could end up doing if you think about it, we could end up doing a Sunderland, Man City, you know, a Leeds, Nottingham Forest, teams that have dropped out, big clubs that have dropped out and haven't returned and have been out in the wilderness for like years. You know, Leeds returning after 19 years away. Who would have thought when Leeds got relegated, it would take them that long to come back? You know, it's
16 long, yeah.
16, yeah.
16, yeah,
that's a long time. And nobody ever thought that would happen to them. But, you know, I mean, that's worst case scenario, but you've got to look at these things when things are going as badly as they are.
I know, and anything can happen with our club as well. I mean, these clubs like Portsmouth, Leeds, and you've obviously mentioned them. Now we don't want to see these clubs go down. They're big clubs, but anything can happen. Do you know what I mean? But could you imagine us being in League One under Ashley? I'll tell you what, he probably has to strip the club. He puts us in administration sort of thing. But if
he'd do something like that because he wants out, and he's not going to plough money in if we get relegated. He's not going to plough money in to get players back to get us up. It just won't happen. And that's why we won't bounce straight back, because he won't invest. He wants out. But like I say, it's a risk if he waits longer than January. If we don't pick up points before the end of this month, which is going to be difficult to do given the way we're playing. But if we can, if we're still in the same situation come end of January, he's got to pull the trigger before it's too late.
I'll tell you what, Paul, you're absolutely right there. He has to, because we cannot afford another relegation, because at the end of the day, things are not looking good. And like I said a stat earlier on to Shark, and I think you might have been here as well. The last 26 games, we've only won 6. We've only won 6 games.
I know. 6. It's frightening when you think about that. I don't think people actually realise that.
No.
It's scary. We're bang out of form. Anyway, I'm going to let you get on with the show, mate. I'll just sort of pop on and say hello.
No problem. You're talking to my friend.
I'll still watch the show, but take care, and I'll see you for the 4 horsemen on Tuesday night.
Tuesday. Are you doing last Sunday? You doing the Arsenal game as well on over and over again?
I might see you on there actually. Yes, because I think he sent me a message, so I've told him I'll be there. So and then we've got our show on Tuesday next week.
Champion.
All right.
Well, I'll catch you on Sunday. John. You too. Right. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for that. Cheers. Bye. See you later. Bye now. That's Paul to review. Please get him followed. He's a lovely, lovely lad. He's so passionate. One thing I will say is if he lose heavily, then he will have a rant. So please be warned. Lovely lad at the same. So let's go on to these messages now. I can't remember the name. Aruda says Hendricks is a championship player. Newcastle signed him because he was good at Burnley, but Dyche got the best out of him, and he also was a free signing as well. So I don't know what he brings to the table. I don't think he's that good. I just don't think he's good enough for Newcastle. Let's put it that way. And then why not? Said I up the lads. Yeah, up the lads to you as well, my friend. And Ruda, John, do you have a soft spot for Bristol City? Listen, I like to see Bristol City do well. I've got a friend who supports Bristol City, and I live in the city as well. But yeah, I like to see them get in the Premier League. I really do, because that football club deserves Premier League football. The stadium's ready for it. They got a brand new stand, and the capacity is 28,000. So yes, I think they're ready for Premier League football. So let's go on to the press conference reaction there, because I had poor chatting to us. And I'm going to go on to say what Chris Ruff have to say. If I can get it there, that's not it. That one's shared. If you just give us 2 seconds, because Chris Ruff's been in the room. That's better. Chrissy Ruff, share. And he's been asking quite a lot of questions to Stevie Bruce. And most of them are quite defensive as well, because he still interrupts interviewers' questions, which I think is quite arrogant. So, and he was asked about this one. He said, he was asked if you have the back of the players. And he said, I'm the wrong one to ask about that. I've said that. I saw nothing wrong with Arsenal, Liverpool, Leicester. There's a hand and thrown too often. That disappoints me. We don't expect to win very well at all. 6 wins from 26, not good enough, not acceptable, and that deserves the sack. And also is asked, we're not easy on the eye. I understand that. We've got to erase the first half and do much better. You always want a response from the team, and I expect some sort of response, that's for sure. We can't accept that performance, and we have to erase it. Well, we've seen so many poor performances all the time. We are 6 wins from 26. That's not good enough for Newcastle United, not good enough for Steve Bruce, and certainly not good enough for Mike Ashley. So we've not always been pleased on the eye. We've been playing absolutely crap. We've not scored enough, don't create enough, and our possession of the ball is below 35%, and that is unacceptable. So I don't know why Bruce is getting stressed on that, because he knows full well that is unacceptable. He won't change it. Will he change it? No, he won't, because he's stuck in his own little way, and that's the manager for this. And he's also asked, we've always wanted to try and win the FA Cup tie. Believe it or not, we had 2 or 3 big chances. We knew it would be difficult. We have to approach it with the right manner and see if we can get a better result. Second half, we were good. But other than that sort of thing, extra time, we completely lost our way. And then he's on to Mikel Arteta. I had a few decent results in short periods of time, 3 wins and a draw, which helps. If you have a bad run, then you so-called come under pressure, although I think that word overused at times. You come under the pump if you have a bad run. Yes, Arteta had a bad run, but some of the fans are prepared to give him a bit of time. But other fans of this don't want to give him time. They want him sacked because the job's too big for the lad. But at the end of the day, Steve has been in this job for 18 months, and there's been very, very, very little improvement. Very little improvement for the club under his watch. And he said he needs the results for the right reasons as well. And there's another one here from Bruce, where he's asked about Newcastle's setup. Now, if you had to change from the back 3, he said, the gloves are off now. I'm going to do it my way, the way I see fit, and see where we are. I said from day one, the day I wanted to play, and haven't done it enough. Well, don't believe that. He will not change. He will still play a 5-4-1 tomorrow, or sorry, 5-4-1 on Monday in the Premier League. And he's just trying to appease the fans, which I'm sorry, it doesn't work with us. And he's trying to keep us fans sweet, which is not good enough. No, he won't change. But what I will see on Monday, I want to see a big improvement than the shambles we saw on Tuesday. Yeah, it's going to be difficult, but Arsenal's play a different game now. So I expect us to get a 3-0 defeat. So if you like my channel, that's my press conference reactions there. If you like my channel, please like and subscribe if you are new. And I've got some more comments down here as well, if it allows us to do it. There you go. Ask that one. And Andy Ruda asks, if Newcastle get relegated, they could be a massive financial problems due to the fact they have a high wage bill. Listen, we got relegated twice before. We tried to shift big players out of the club, but they will not leave the club because no one clubs will match their wages. I'll give you an example. John Shelby was on £80,000 a week. where he got relegated for the second time. And he didn't want to leave because no one able to pay his wages, and Rafa Benitez stayed at the club. But when they got relegated the first time, Mike actually tried his best to shift the high wage out of the club, but he couldn't quite do it. We got a player called Xisco. He was on 50 bags a week on a 5-year deal, and he wouldn't leave the club until someone matched his wages, and they couldn't do it. So we had to go out to four different clubs, but we had to end up paying his wages. So I wouldn't be surprised it might actually put us in administration. I hope I'm wrong, but he's quite capable of doing that because he doesn't want to be at the club anymore. He wants out. So he'll probably has to strip and get as much money as he can. So if that's what it takes to do, and then it's going to have to be that. But I want to take over. I want this man. I want this owner out of my club, yeah? And I hope the FA or the Premier League sees sense and just approve the deal. Otherwise, it'll go to court. So, guys, tell us what you think of my video, yeah? If you just like, subscribe to us, and like I said, leave a comment in the section down below. I'm going to wrap it up pretty quick because I got to work first thing in the morning, and it's now 25 to 11. So I've done our read, and if any of you guys want to join me chat, fancy a chat, then I'll get you on there. Just leave us a DM. I will get on, be sure. And Anuruddha said, I read that one, didn't I? And said, of course, you can cancel the players on big wages. And also, if you get promoted on the first time of asking, it helps. Yeah, if they're good enough for the Premier League. And some of the players are not good enough for the Premier League at all in that squad. And they need shifting. We've got 12 players out of contracts at the end of the season. I guarantee now they will go. And we're going to end up having a skeleton club. If you get relegated, then it can absolutely cripple us, I'm telling you. So I think that's going to be me done. I'm going to be back tomorrow and Sunday. Well, I've got some more content today. I'm going to do a match preview as well on Saturday. And like I said, do follow us on Twitter, John_NUFC42, and on Facebook, John Sinclair. And until then, thanks for joining us. It's been a lovely pleasure hearing you guys. And until then, have a good